I'm going to make a statement, a bold statement, and perhaps a gratuitous statement, but a statement nonetheless. YouTube and platforms such as this are going to replace the need for conventional, prototypical education. Every single thing that I need to get done is on YouTube. Everything. I have a coffee machine. For some particular reason, every 2 hours, it needs descaling. I have no idea. I'm not even sure what descaling even means. But I've read literature, but the best example, the best instructional, the best tutorial I want to do is on YouTube. And I use it all the time. If I want to address a ding in the car, if I want to figure the best way to clean out a gutter or anything, the best way to play certain blues riffs, YouTube has it. And the most important thing, which I think is so critical, because social media today, as you know, gets a blast from everybody, and that is the tutorials that are available on teaching young people, in particular, how to cook and how cooking is cool and available and easy and trendy and trending. YouTube is going to replace universities. YouTube is going to be the next gymnasium, using the German Einstein concept. Everything that you need to know, from lectures to history, it's there. So while we have this tendency, I think, in our particular culture to slam anything and everything that is social media and destruction of the way things used to be, this might very well be the best example, the best contribution to society, and that is providing you with more information at your fingertips, specifically regarding cooking. And I'll explain why that is so critical. But first, a word from our sponsor. Noble Gold Investments is pleased to let you know that gold is the best investment class for 2022. Through all our record-breaking inflation rate, crashing market, crypto scams, there is one asset that held its own: gold. According to longtermtrends.net, gold has actually outperformed the S&P 500, Dow, and Bitcoin for 2022. Had you invested in the S&P 500 a year ago, you would be down more than 20%. If you invested in Bitcoin a year ago, you'd be down more than 65%. And if you invested in the Dow a year ago, you would be down almost 10%. Yes, gold has outperformed them all in 2022, and silver is not far behind. Yes, while the world was busy hailing other assets as the real hedge, gold and silver are the only assets that would have protected your wealth. So join the thousands of others by opening a gold IRA or silver IRA with Noble Gold Investments. Get in before the end of this month and you'll bag a free 1/4 ounce American Gold Eagle coin with every qualified IRA of $50,000 or more. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold Investments. And there are thousands of 5-star reviews. And remember, there's always a risk of investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind. It is a cottage industry for people to sit back and to discuss what's wrong with education, what these kids need. Why, when I was in school, we used to walk, 30 miles a day in the snow. And, you know those stories. By the way, there was a comedian years ago. I don't know who it was. I can't give attribution, but there was a joke I always loved. He says, did you ever hear the story about Lincoln used to walk 10 miles every day in the snow to school? But there's one thing they never told you. He was always late. Anyway, one of the things which I always lamented was the end of home ec. Now, I never had home ec. I always knew how to cook. Always liked to know how to cook. I was always self-sufficient. I could do everything. I could run a washer, a dryer. I knew how to cook. I just did. For no particular reason. I'm not patting myself on the back. I just did. My family, we just did this. But there are some people who the idea of cooking is very, very frightening. Very, very frightening. Because it involves a lot of stuff. And I know people who for a variety of reasons, without going into detail, are very concerned about stoves, gas stoves, electric stoves, burning, fire, boiling over. There's almost a phobia. And I appreciate that. And they've pretty much stayed away from it. Well, now with air fryers and various convection and induction methods of cooking, they've been liberated from this fear. How? Through social media, through YouTube. They make it fun now. Now I have seen, and I am just mesmerized. First of all, by food blogs, the internationality of it, the idea of sharing cultures and cuisines through food, but also how people can start off with steak. Now, this has got to be, you would think, one of the easiest things to do. But through technology, through production, through the style, through the shorts, it always involves slamming down some piece of meat and seasoning and bang, 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 and fun and excitement and encouragement. And the message is, you can do this too. Now, how many people right now, I know more people who are into air fryers who have never cooked anything. And what was it that motivated them? YouTube. What was it? Or other particular versions of such. YouTube. The idea of knowing how to do things. How to pickle. Name it. See, I love to watch cuisine. I watch barbecue, even though I don't eat. I'm Whole Foods. Plant-based, I should say, but I still love the smell, love the texture. But I love to watch breads around the world. I've learned more. I have learned to do things more. I've gotten ideas, and I can cook. I'm no schlub when it comes to this. I'm very, very conversant. But take somebody who, let's say, lives in a dorm, lives away from home, never caught on, or is from a family where maybe mom historically wasn't a great cook. And by the way, this also liberates, I think, the idea of a woman necessarily being the sole component, if you will, the sole, what am I trying to say? The sole food provider in the house. And I mean that. There's always something about this where, you would always see that dad would barbecue, but mom does everything else. Well, because of this incredible, just this infusion of information as to cooking, and people have been, I'm saying the word again, liberated by virtue of this easy to grasp, easy to maintain, easy to utilize and access, this very, very simple tool through YouTube on how to cook. And by the way, I just, every now and then, whether it's history, whether it's lectures, I could watch it all day long. If there were no TV, no cable, no anything, and all I had was an iPad and YouTube, I would do just fine. I could watch anything and everything. I had a glimmer of hope for a moment. If somebody can make somehow history somewhat cool, and it is, through whatever medium, through whatever particular platform, anybody who can do this, I'm all for it. So the reason for this particular presentation is the idea that one of the most important things we can teach people, and people should know, is cooking. Cooking is chemistry, it's physics, it's meal planning, little things that are so simple. I'm always fascinated by how simple it is to do certain things. The notion of mise en place. It's an idea which is so simple, to have everything in its place ahead of time. That's all. Whoever does this, most people as this frying, they say, now let's see, coriander. No, it doesn't work like that. If I give you this tip and I say, this is how to do it, it changes everything. You might not have known that. Here's something else which people don't know when it comes to cooking, and that's very simply this. Write down your meal plan. Write down what comes first. Timing, planning. What can you do ahead of time? Anything? Most people never put any kind of thinking into this at all. It's just kind of a surprise thing. Cooking is like martial arts. Half of effective martial arts training is having a routine, a kata, some type of a plan in which you can involve yourself in your dealing with your assailant, if you will, in a way that addresses best the situation. It's causing you ahead of time to plan, not to be caught and say, now what do I do? You want to be able to go into a routine almost and say, I know what to do. Here's my plan. And today, with schools being in whatever particular state they're in, with more remote learning, with hands-on, there are going to be generations, or there might have been a new generation or generations of kids who never knew how to basically boil water. That has now changed because cooking is cool, cooking is exciting, cooking is experimental. You're seeing people doing it. It's fun. There's music. I can't say this enough. This gives me hope that maybe we can retool education, because I've always been of the belief system that the red brick and mortar schoolhouse ain't the future. There's no need for that. The idea of people going away to schools and driving and living in a dorm, yes, I understand there's this convivial aspect of it, but there's something about the ease of the tautology, the didactics, the pedagogy, tautology, the pedagogy, the didactics, the dialectics. This can be facilitated greatly, as seen in the area of cooking. Listen to what I'm saying. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I thank you for your attention to that. I thank you for your focus. Please like this video. Please hit the video. Hit the little like button so it will be indicated as being liked. Please also hit that little bell so you'll be notified of new videos and the like. And whatever you do, whatever you do, please comment as you see fit.